everyone, this is Marika and I welcome you all to this new session of Community Health Nursing with me. In our previous session, we have discussed about food hygiene, where we've seen what is food hygiene, why is it important to maintain food hygiene, what is milk hygiene, and how milk hygiene is achieved. We've also discussed about meat and fish hygiene. In this session today, we are going to discuss about egg hygiene, fruits and vegetable hygiene, and sanitation of the eating place. Now, before we move on to today's topic, let us quickly recall what food hygiene is. Food hygiene is a process of maintaining hygienic measures or following hygienic measures from the time of production of the food until it is served to the customers. So food hygiene does not only include washing our hands, washing the fruits and vegetables that we consume, but from the time of production, how it is being produced, while it is being packed, while it is being distributed, transported, and also served to the customers. So there are various steps involved in food production and distribution, and during all the process that are involved, food hygiene is to be maintained. Proper hygienic measures is to be maintained in order to make sure that the food is fit for human consumption. As I said, the topic for today's discussion is egg hygiene, fruits and vegetable hygiene, and sanitation of the eating place. Let us start with egg hygiene. So as the eggs are freshly laid, most of the freshly laid eggs are sterile, but there are chances that the shell of the egg can be contaminated by the fecal matter of the hen. Certain microorganisms such as salmonella can penetrate the cell of the egg from the outside. As the content that we consume of the egg is inside the cell sometimes may be contaminated with few microorganisms, pathogenic organisms such as salmonella. And when the cell of the egg is contaminated, certain microorganisms can penetrate inside the eggs. So as microorganism enters inside the egg, it is obvious that it will also contaminate the content of the egg. So how can we maintain egg hygiene? The egg must be properly examined for any kind of crack in the shell. So if the shell is cracked, it is obvious that the microorganism through the fecal matter comes on the cell and they can penetrate inside. Now, if there's a crack, it becomes much easier for the microorganisms to penetrate inside the cell. Therefore, we have to examine the shell of the egg. Another important thing to do to maintain egg hygiene is to wash the egg thoroughly before it is boiled or cooked. The next one that we have is fruits and vegetables. Now, fruits and vegetables are something that is consumed by large group of people throughout the world. People consume fruit and vegetables. Every group, every age group consume fruit and vegetables. Fruit and vegetables are also one of the potential source of infection. They can harbor various microorganisms. The infection that can be transmitted through fruits and vegetables are of a major concern to public health, because we see that sewage water is used in order to grow fruits and vegetables in many parts of the world. When sewage water is used in order to grow fruits and vegetables, when it is used as fertilizers, it is obvious that it may have various microorganisms that may be harmful, and so through that the pathogenic microorganism may also be there in fruits and vegetables. Especially when we think about the fruits and vegetables that are consumed by people in raw form or as a form of salad, there is high chance that such kind of fruits and vegetables may cause various problems in people. So what can be done in order to maintain the hygiene of fruits and vegetables? The only thing that can be done in order to make sure is to educate the people about importance of washing the fruits and vegetables before consumption. Even though it is freshly grown, the kind of fertilizers that are used, the kind of soil that is used to grow, the kind of fertilizers that are used in order to grow the plant may have different impacts on the plant, and the plant may have certain effect of such kind of things. Therefore, proper washing of fruits and vegetables is very important before we consume any form of fruit and vegetable. And another important thing that can be done is proper cooking of the vegetables. When vegetables are cooked properly, it is free from any kind of danger. The pathogenic microorganisms that are present in the vegetables can be destroyed with boiling or with cooking. Therefore, the vegetables must be cooked properly before consumption. That is it for egg and fruits and vegetable hygiene. Let us move on and see sanitation of eating place. It is obvious that the environment where we consume our food plays a major role in our health. So proper sanitation, proper hygienic measures has to be followed in eating places. In the year 1955, minimum standards that is to be followed by the restaurants and eating places was given under Model Public Health Act in India. So there are certain set of standards that are to be followed by all the eating places or all different restaurants in order to maintain the sanitation of the eating places. Let us see what are those. The first standard to be followed is location. So the location of the restaurant, the location of the eating places must be away from any kind of drainage, open dumping areas, manure pits, and any other form of nuisance. The second one that we have is the floors of the restaurants. The floors of the restaurants must be made up of impervious materials and it must be easy to clean. So this one we've also seen in the slaughterhouses. In the restaurants as well, the floors must be easy to clean because there will be people visiting again and again. People will be walking throughout. So the floors must be easy to clean and it must be made up of impervious materials. The third one is rooms. The rooms where the food is being served must be at least 100 square feet and it must provide accommodation for at least 10 people. The walls of the room must be at least of 3 feet. It must be smooth, it must be easy to clean, and it must be made up of impervious materials. The third standard to be followed for the eating room is lighting and ventilation. Adequate lighting and ventilation must be available in the rooms. The lighting must be proper. There should be presence of natural light which is aided by artificial light. Ventilation, the circulation of the air in the room also must be adequate. The fourth one that we have is the kitchen. The floor of the kitchen in the restaurant must be non-slippery. It must be made up of impervious materials. It must be smooth as well as easy to clean. Not just the floors, also the walls must be smooth and easy to clean. The doors and the windows of the restaurant, especially the kitchen, must be rat-proof and fly-proof. The fifth one that we have is storage of food. Storage of food here should be done in a separate room and not in the kitchen of the restaurant. That means a separate room has to be provided just for storing the food. And as we know, for in the restaurant, large amount of food materials will be available. Cold temperature must be provided if the food products are kept for longer period of time. The next one that we have is storage of uncooked food stuff. So here we have to separate the perishable and the non-perishable items. That means the items that may undergo decaying has to be kept separately from the other items. Perishable items will require a different temperature for them to be stored properly. So appropriate temperature according to the items must be maintained in storage of uncooked food materials as well. The next important aspect of a restaurant or a eating place are the furnitures that are used in the restaurant. So furnitures are to be maintained properly. The furnitures that are selected for the restaurant must be reasonably strong and it must be easy to clean as well. The next one that we have is disposal of waste products. Now waste products is generated in large amount in restaurants and eating places. The waste materials are to be separated. The materials are to be collected separately and has to be disposed. The disposal of the materials, waste products that is generated from the restaurant has to be done in the same day. The next one that we have is water supply. Now, as we know, restaurant is a place where large amount of food will be cooked. It will be served to people. So water supply is one of the most important thing in restaurant. Therefore, it must have adequate and continuous supply of water. And finally, washing facilities are also an important part of restaurants or cooking places. Proper washing facilities must be there because utensils, vessels will be used in order to cook food as well as to serve the food. So a proper facility has to be provided so that the utensils, the vessels that are used for cooking as well as serving can be cleansed properly. The cleaning of the vessels must be done with hot water and also disinfection is to be followed after washing the vessels before it is used for serving the customers. That is it for today's class. In this session today, we have discussed about egg hygiene, the hygiene to be followed while consuming fruits and vegetables, and then we also discussed about sanitation of the eating areas. I hope the class was helpful and I'll see you all in the next session where we will discuss about food adulteration and prevention of food adulteration. Thank you and have a great day ahead.